The Resident Evil franchise is notorious as one of the most respected and influential game series of all time. However, not just to the survival horror genre. The Resident Evil games are a testament to what lasting decades of passion can do for a game series, while finding their home as a monolith of success even to today's standards. The series is also well known for their frankly dog shit adaptations, and there are plenty to choose from. There was a point where I considered making a series alongside this one covering the movies, simply just because I thought it would be funny, but if I'm being honest, I have too much self-respect to watch them more than once at this point, so maybe sometime in the future. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about the second game, particularly the remake. First order of business, seeing as they may not ever make a remake for the first game, I'll give you a little rundown, and then maybe if they ever do, we'll come back to it. Resident Evil found huge commercial success, being praised for its graphics, sound, and just about everything else you can think of. The player chose to control either Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine, two of the series' most memorable characters to this day. Following several strange deaths around Raccoon City, which is the fictional setting for several of the games, members of the Raccoon City Police Department's STARS, which will come up later and stands for Special Tactics and Rescue Service, were deployed and swiftly lost contact, prompting the Alpha Team to be deployed as well. The Alpha Team locates Bravo Team's crash site, but are ambushed, leaving them to seek refuge in a nearby mansion. The Alpha Team, its core members consisting of Chris, Jill, and a man named Albert Wesker, whose name you might recognize, explore the mansion, learning over time that countless experiments were performed by the Umbrella Corporation, all dangerous and highly illegal, which of course resulted in the zombies and other monsters which roam the mansion. The team discovers a hidden underground laboratory where it is revealed that Wesker is actually a double agent for Umbrella, planning to use a new super soldier called the Tyrant, created by the corporation to wipe out the remainder of STARS. Long story short, Chris/Jill kills Wesker and defeats Tyrant, contacting the Alpha Team's helipilot for evac, where they are once again met with Tyrant. Of course, they defeat him and everything's fine. A couple of quick notes that you might want to know. The reason all this started was because of Umbrella's vision to create super soldiers. The T-virus, T standing for Tyrant, is compatible with very few individuals, which is why in most cases it results in the slow and mindless zombies, and in some cases results in the bigger, more intelligent, faster creatures. Then of course there are mutations and other variations of the virus which result in other effects and different types of monsters to be created, which you'll see throughout the series. The Tyrant in Resident Evil 1 was an early version of the T-virus, being refined and used on more compatible victims in later games. Alright, now that that's over with, let's move on to the meat of this video. The Resident Evil 2 remake begins with character selection, just as the first game did. You can play as Claire Redfield, who is going into Raccoon City to find her aforementioned brother, Chris, or you can play as Leon Kennedy, rookie cop going into the city to investigate after being told firmly to stay away from his new job. Naturally, I chose Leon because he is, one, literally me, and two, so sexy. When I got to the difficulty screen, I faced terrifying flashbacks, briefly remembering my very impulsive and uninformed choice to enter my last playthrough as hardcore, as some of you may recall. With the city in sight, you stop at Mesoil, a local gas station where you find blood trailing to the front door. You enter the store to meet a man bleeding, and pointing to the back room. You walk back and open the door where you meet another officer who's literally got this, and he is killed immediately, like the second you walk in. Of course, you pistol whip this zombie bitch in the name of the law and find a key to escape the station. Zombies start to pour in, but you make your way to the front door where you find Claire, or Leon if you picked Claire, and she covers your back. You escape together in the abandoned police cruiser and drive towards the city. Hey guys, so I was editing and I just thought of a quick little note that I figured would be good to know for this video. And for some of you it might not make a difference, but like if you've played the game before, then you might think I'm stupid or a fucking idiot or whatever, but so this video will only cover, okay, both Claire and Leon's stories are very similar, but they do have some big key differences, like different bosses at some points or different weapons. So this video will only cover Leon's first run, and I say first run because the second run also, like the difference between Claire and Leon's stories, the second run for both characters is also very different. Like there's a new final boss. So just so you know, this is just covering Leon's first run. Yeah, okay, thank you, bye. After a series of some very unfortunate events, you and Claire are separated and you make your way through the zombie-infested streets into the RPD building, where you find rapidly diminishing safety. You explore the station to try and find a safe way out, but you find another officer searching for help. Luckily, you're there to get him to safety, but alas, he is also killed immediately. Ambushed by several slow but surprisingly durable zombies, you go back the way you came, where you are saved by the police lieutenant, Marvin. He tasks you with finding 3 medallions to input into the large statue at the center of the lobby. You do some exploring, have some very hostile encounters, come across some lickers. but eventually equip yourself with a shiny new shotgun. You put all the medallions into the statue, hoping to get out of there with Marvin at your side, but he orders you to leave him, seemingly having sustained some sort of injury. You make your way into the depths of the station, being either followed or barely behind another set of footsteps. These footsteps you quickly find out are none other than William Birkin, resident dickhead. You'll hear plenty more on him later, so I'll just give you the name right now. You blast dozens of bullets into his mutated shoulder with little but cumulative effect. After using all your ammo and facing several near-death experiences against just Birkin, he falls into the darkness, never to be seen again. A ladder near you drops down where Leon expertly proclaims that someone's watching him. You make your way to the parking garage where you're attacked by infected dogs but saved by a mysterious woman who claims she's FBI. You wander around, reaching a man who claims he is the only way out of the garage. You're hesitant to listen to him, but after a few seconds of pleading, he is absolutely obliterated by a huge hand through the concrete wall. The woman appears again, telling you that she was holding on to him as a resource and that he was telling the truth. Her name is Ada Wong. You make your way back into the station to further explore for a way out. Tragically, Marvin is transformed into a zombie during your absence and leaves you no choice but to end him. As you make your way to the second floor, you open up a previously blocked off area with a crank you found in the basement. You go upstairs and around to the side of the building, where you look for a way to put out the fire on the crashed helicopter you heard a couple hours ago. By redirecting the water, you put out the fire and head back towards the helicopter. Making your way around, you reach the helicopter, a hand appearing to lift it up, putting you face to face with one of the game's primary antagonists. An enormous, humanoid man who doesn't seem to be fazed by anything you can do to him. Can you kill him? Fuck no. Can you hurt him? Not as far as I can tell. While he's slow, he's also indestructible and will quite literally chase you to the ends of the earth. As you work your way through the station, you get to live in fear of the hulking footsteps and heart-pounding theme of Mr. X. There will be moments of brief respite, but even if you don't hear him stomping behind you, you'll get lost searching for him out of the corner of your eye. You'll make mistakes while you're rushing out of fear that he'll find you before you find him. So, just very quick sidebar. In this video, I'll refer to him as Mr. X, X, or I'll refer to him as Tyrant. The reasoning for all these names is because he's actually never called Mr. X or X in the game, but apparently due to a translating issue or something along those lines, since the game was made by a Japanese company, he kind of adopted the name Mr. X. Tyrant is because he is part of the Tyrant program, which is the thing I mentioned earlier that turns people into the big scary monsters. So yeah. Before learning how to deal with him, you tread lightly, moving quickly, stunning him when you can, and make your way through the third floor of the station, the only one you have yet to fully explore. Equipped with some more ammo, you complete the puzzle in the clock tower to find the last part you needed to get to the dead guy with the parking garage key. You quickly rush down to the basement, Mr. X close behind you. You go to get the card, in the process opening all the other cells. You frantically go around the side of the jail, narrowly making it out with your life. As you head over to the terminal, the tyrant bursts out of the wall, nearly killing you until Ada shows back up and saves you once more. You escape together, and she explains that she has heard rumors of an underground laboratory created and used by Umbrella. The road is out, so you cut through a local gun shop. You find some more supplies, but a man pops out of the darkness and threatens you to leave. Ada comes to your rescue, and the man is at a disadvantage, but still just wants you away. But uh-oh, Emmy's hungry. You and Ada go out the back and venture into the sewer, where she insists you'll find the path to the lab. As you make your way through, Ada provides you with some exposition, telling you that Umbrella has been behind the curtain of Raccoon City developing bioweapons and performing other illegal experiments for years. She name drops Annette Birkin, blaming her as the sole cause of the outbreak. As you drop hesitantly down from the path you've been following, you hear a large rumbling. From the sewage, an enormous mutated alligator arises, leaving you to scamper away from it through the tunnel. You dodge and you weave, dropping off to a lower portion of the sewer where you'll find a very convenient grenade and turn around to see the gator chowing down on a pipe transferring flammable gas. You turn away from the gator's exposed innards and Ada drops a ladder down from above, prompting you to follow. You delve deeper and find Annette, referencing William while looking at a dead body. She escapes into the complex, stating that you'll never get your hands on the virus. While searching for a way around, you take several bullets and end up passing out. Now out of commission, you switch over to Ada. Armed with only her pistol and a sort of hacking tool, you make your way through the tunnels, being tentative of the zombies. Using the tool, you follow the wires to open up the door Annette took cover behind. You head back up towards the door and surprise, Mr. X. Your pistol doesn't pack much of a punch, or pack really anything compared to what Leon has at his disposal at this point in the game, so you can't even really stun him, you just have to run. You try to circle him around the room so you can get an opportunity to reach the next while also avoiding him. Eventually, you'll find a way to evade him, and you'll find a corpse with an ID wristband in an incinerator nearby. The door shuts behind you. Annette spews some more bullshit, and you hack your way out, of course, but she's gone. You continue moving, but again, Annette traps you, knocks you unconscious, and you wake up where you left Leon. Eventually, you find where Ada got trapped. To open the door, you have to find and order 6 different plugs correctly. The puzzle itself is not that difficult. Finding them, however, was not very fun. You fight your way through the maze that's the 3-level sewer, and eventually you'll make it to the puzzle where you get the king and the queen plug. I'll spare you the pain, but I pretty much just figured it out by putting them in and out of the different plug stations until I found a way out. Doing this, fortunately, got me to the flamethrower, the last weapon you find in the game. You have to find another way around and run into Birkin again, or rather, he runs into you. You make swift work of yourself, probably, and then you'll respawn and you'll try and make swift work of him. You head back to the plug room and put them in the right order, opening the door to Ada. She's hurt, but she's alive. Luckily for both of you, she still has the wristband, and the two of you head for the cable car that would take you to the lab. The two of you prepare to very likely not make it out alive. As you reach the lab, Ada hands off the band and you start to work your way through. You find no evidence of current life, as the place is in shambles, covered in blood and the corpses of both dead scientists and soldiers. Through several documents, you discover that the virus created by William Birkin as his life's work is in the West Wing, which you can't get to without a level 3 wristband. By doing some exploring, you'll get a hold of the level 2 band and move on to the East Wing. Here, you'll find, bodies and a bunch of vegified zombies. That's what they called them. Apparently, the only way to kill them for good is by torching them, but I used all my flamethrower ammo a while ago very sparingly and with conservation in mind. So, you do some more puzzles, explore some more, and you find a way to disperse a solution into the greenhouse which kills the plants, allowing you to reach the level 3 band. You grab the band and slot it into yours when, Mr. fucking X. Your only real option, as per usual of course, is to run, stopping if you have to turn and shoot, but you escape and run to the West Wing, where I guess you lose him. You enter and you'll cross a bridge where, if you're anything like me, you'll look up at the ceiling and think, oh wow, it would be a perfect place for some big monster to drop through the ceiling, right? The wing is pretty much clear, so you run to the end and grab the virus sample with relative ease. You find another tape depicting some sort of strike team, outfitted the same way as the bodies you saw throughout the lab. The team drops from the vents onto William, planning on taking him in alive until he pulls a gun on them, so they reactively shoot him down. You turn around and head for the elevator when an alarm goes off, stating that due to the removal of the virus, the lab will self-destruct in 10 minutes. Of course, a big monster drops down from the ceiling in that exact area from before, and it's William, the same dude you've killed like 3 or 4 times now. Annette shows up to use her signature cum blaster on William. As William's sizzling behind you, she explains that after being gunned down by the strike team that was supposed to bring him in, he injected himself with the G-Virus, turning him into this big monster and causing the zombie outbreak that ravaged Raccoon City. After her little anecdote, William gets up and absolutely, bodies his wife. Like, Jesus Christ. She lives, of course, and lowers down the platform that you're on with him, saying that she can't let the virus out of the lab. Now, just real quick, kind of just ignore the level of gameplay you're watching here from this point out, because it was like 4 a.m. and by the time I got to the sewers, which was like 12, I thought I was like 30 to 40 minutes from finishing the game. So right here, I was in just a really, really rough state. Anyways, I actually quite enjoyed the fight against Birkin's evolved form. It takes the fundamentals of the game like resource management and the mechanics from your fight with him earlier and just puts them into a very compact, more higher stakes setting. Eventually, you'll take him down, virus in hand, and gun for the elevator, Ada meeting you on the bridge. Annette said some pretty damning stuff, so you exchange a few words before you take a step back. Annette tells you that Ada is actually a mercenary searching for the G-Virus in order to sell it and turn a profit. A rumble breaks apart the bridge, sending both Ada and the G-Virus into the depths. Take the elevator down, reaching the bottom and sprinting through the tunnels to reach the lift that will take you to the train out. And then when you least expect it...
Is this a fucking joke?
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing at this point. You dunk into another service corridor on the run, but you get blocked off by a burst of flames. You turn around and X is right there, choking you out while he lifts you up into the air, but is interrupted by another explosion. You drop down to a lower level, but he gets stuck, so you keep on running. Make it to the lift, and lo and behold...
Green or red?
So quick, I'll just explain what's going on here and there, and just, all over, really. Canonically, this tyrant has a sort of mutation / power limiter, so that Umbrella is able to keep control of him, I assume. And I guess in an explosion or something while the lab is self-destructing, it got damaged, which is why he turns into this. He is now faster, stronger, and far more dangerous. I got this from the wiki, because I don't think it's explained in the game unless I missed some sort of log or document, or I just wasn't paying attention. So yeah, back to the fun. The Tyrant boss fight was fine. I mean, my experience was bad, honestly. I did not have a lot of fun here, but that could have had a lot to do with the fact that I was hilariously tired. But also, after the Birkin fight, I literally had like 30 base pistol shots, and that is it. So I think that also plays a big part of it. But basically, the Tyrant fight consists of him running at you and smacking the fuck out of you, and you're supposed to do this for enough time to stun lock him till you reach the bottom. But again, I didn't have any ammo, so I just kept running out, and he would just kill me. Once he gets to his second phase, which I'm pretty sure is based off the amount of time you're in the arena, he charges up an attack which is undodgeable and one-shots you, no matter what. So while he's charging it up, you have to stun him. But again, I didn't have ammo. So once I figured out this one-shot attack, my strategy pretty much just resulted in running around in circles until a rocket launcher drops down onto the arena. Now, I think this was Ada. Strong emphasis on I think. I have literally no evidence to support this, because the shot that we get of this woman is from behind her head and is very, very dark. But I also don't know how she ever could have survived, so I think this is some sort of pipe dream. Anyway, the rocket launcher, it one-shots him. Of course, this fucking relentless beast that's been chasing you the whole game, never to be seen again, but for real this time. Thinking back on it, I actually don't think the fight itself was as bad as I remembered. What bothers me, though, is that the conclusion to Mr. X's chase ends so suddenly, given that I think he probably has the most terrifying and commanding presence in the entire game. But you hold onto the rocket launcher, and you push through the remainder of the tunnels, making quick work of the mindless fools that stand in your way. You make it to the train, finally meeting up with Claire after all this time. You ride into the sunset, finally at peace. But Leon is down so bad.
Can't believe I actually miss her.
I really kind of love this game. When it comes to video games, I'm very simple. It doesn't take much to grab me, but I do have a confession to make. Before this playthrough, the only Resident Evil game I ever even finished was 7, the one from 2017. I grew up on the movies, which, while entertaining, are not very good at all. But I've always been fascinated with the lore and the world, so like I've watched videos and stuff when I was a kid, and so I've always just wanted to play the games, but I never really did. So with that being said, depending on how this video does, and depending on if you guys like it, I already own the remake of 3, and the 4th is coming out in March, so I'd love to make a series on these games. If I'm being honest, I was already planning on it, and if I don't make a series, I'm going to play them anyway, so I might as well. But just let me know what you guys want if you want to see that. If not, that's fine too. But anyways, real quick, there are a couple different stickers available. I guess it's CNRMRY merch, haha. But I'll put the link to all that in the description if you want to check it out. Thank you guys so much for the support and for watching, and I'll see you next time.